I don't know. I think we're all right. I think our guard plays really good. I think Javon Carter, Dexter Miles are as good a pair of guards as there are anywhere in the country. And then we got a bunch of young guys we'll have to find out.
Okay, we'll take questions for Coach. All right, we'll start over here on the aisle right, and then we'll move towards the rear.
Hi, Bob. Blair Kirkhoff with the Kansas City Star.
Hey, Blair.
Hey, we heard Curtis Shaw go over some rule changes this year, and it looks like more offense being favored in some of these rule emphasis and changes. And I know you emphasize defense. I'm just wondering how you think your team will be impacted by some of these.
I'm all for offense, Blair. I just don't think that, you ought to be able to walk out of traps, which hopefully that gets addressed. I think the only thing, Blair, that is a little bit alarming to me is we act like there's never going to be any contact. And they're too big, they're too strong, they're too fast, and the court's too small for people for there not to be any contact. So there's going to be, and I wish we could kind of go back to a degree of let the guys officiate the game. And if it has no effect on the play, why call it? But that's not the direction that we're headed. But we're going to adjust, and we've done it for years. My dad told me one time, I was at Walsh College, and we played Urbana, and I think they shot 52 free throws or something ridiculous like that. And so, I'm not very happy. And my dad calls me the next day, and my dad was a highly successful basketball coach, and he said, "What happened?" I said, "What happened? They shot 52 free throws. That's what happened." And he said, "Well, you didn't do a very good job." And I'm like, "What was I supposed to do? I didn't foul them." He said, "There's a game within a game." And that's, the more I do this, I think the truer that becomes. Everybody doesn't see the game the same way. And so it's going to vary from game to game just because of the way different people perceive the game should be played, officiated, coached, whatever. So I'm going to try to be a little smarter, Blair, to answer your question. Probably won't be, but I'm going to try.
We got a question on the rear, and then we'll come back up to the front.
Jeff Borzello, ESPN. I have two quick questions. One, are you going to wear the vest and bow tie on the sideline at all this year?
Absolutely not.
And then Issa's absence for the first 2 months of the season, how are you going to sort of replace him during the non-conference season?
Well, we can't replace him. He's been really, really good in practice. I was a little concerned that he'd have a hard time being motivated, but at least at this point, he's been terrific. He's good, it's hard to replace somebody that good. We'll do it by committee. I don't, at this time, Jeff, I'd be lying if I told you I knew what we were going to do. I don't. It seems like every time people ask me like who your star is going to be, and I tell them it ends up not being those guys. So I really honestly I don't know.
We got a question on the aisle, and then do you have a question in front?
Good morning, Coach. Carlos Mendez, Fort Worth Star-Telegram.
Good morning.
You know Jamie Dixon very well. What do you think of that guy coming into the league and after 1 year being picked third by the coaches already?
That doesn't surprise me. We were in the Big East together, and Jamie does a terrific job. But the thing about this league that I didn't realize when we got in the league, we walk in and we sit down at a coaches meeting and there's 10 guys in there, and I think 6 of them have been to a Final Four, and most of those 6 multiple times. And the guys who haven't been to a Final Four lost in the Elite Eight at least once, and some of them 2 or 3 times. It's the best coaching league that I've ever been in, You know, it doesn't surprise me at all. Jamie's a really good end of the game coach, and that's what our league is. I mean, nobody blows anybody out in this league. It's also highly contested, and there's really good players. You know, when you look at the stuff that the league sent out about first round picks, lottery picks, draft picks, and then look and think there's only 10 teams in this league. There's 16, and those other leagues are 14, and we still, I think, whatever it is, I think it's the second most amount of first rounders or second most amount of lottery picks. Or there's really, really good players in this league, and there's incredible coaching in this league.
Questions for Coach? Got a question on the left rear.
Brian Hamilton from the Fieldhouse. What's the next evolution offensively for Sagaba? What's on his checklist to improve on that end?
Well, he's worked really hard on his jump shot. I feel really comfortable letting him shoot it, 16 or 17 feet. He thinks he can shoot threes, and he does make some once in a while. But I don't think that's the direction we want to go quite yet. But I feel really comfortable him shooting at 16, 17 feet. He's shooting it really well on the baseline. He's playing with he's so much more comfortable. He's playing with so much more confidence.